We got to go back over to the mysterious death of Nolan Wells, where his parents are finally speaking out. They was on Good Morning America and all these other shows. So we're going to get over into one of the interviews and see what they have to talk about and just any more information that we need to know about this investigation.
And this morning, we're focusing on the desperate search for answers in the mysterious death of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells. He didn't return with friends after a 4th of July boat trip to a Mississippi island. Wells' mother reported him missing that very night. But tragically, a few days later, his body was found. Now, there are a lot of questions about what happened to him, and his family is demanding answers. Nolan's parents, Christine and Elmore Wansley, and their attorney, Ben Crump, are joining us now in studio to talk more about this. Thank you both and Attorney Crump for being here under these especially difficult circumstances that no parent ever wants to live through. Christine and Elmore, can you help us understand what your understanding is of the timeline and what questions you both still have about what actually happened to Nolan?
So he basically, the night before, all the boys got together, stayed the night. 4th of July, they launched the boat. They went to the island, and that was that. I was expecting hey, we're back, like he normally does. Didn't happen. Get a phone call around 11, 4th of July. Hey, have you talked to Nolan? And I'm like, no, where is he at? So then my friend Tashima was so helpful in tracking his phone down because everyone was looking at the Snapchat location because all the kids follow each other. But I was looking at Life 360 and I'm like, well, I don't understand because I'm literally looking at his phone like it's at someone's house. So thankfully my friend did go grab the phone for us as we were kind of doing the other part of it, which was notifying, the local authorities, trying to figure out who we needed to speak to do the missing persons report, because I know that needs to be done as soon as possible, especially when we're talking about water. We wanted to make sure that we could try to find him, and that was the goal.
So it sounds like that the friends didn't even immediately come to her with the phone. I wonder how much time passed when they left the island or supposedly left him alone and then back at home with his phone. Let's keep going, though.
Who called you first initially, and how well do you know the people that Nolan was hanging out with that day? How familiar are you with them and their families?
So their families, we have not met. Warren was the one who made the phone call, and he did contact the Coast Guard as well, which I know there's some discrepancies now with that. But he did contact them, and I was going back and forth with the Sheriff's Department and the City of Ocean Springs. Who do we talk to? So then it turned into I had to contact DMR, and DMR took the information, but then reverted me back to Ocean Springs Police Department. So it's kind of like, where do we go from here? So Jackson County basically was like, hey, we're gonna take it over. We'll go ahead and do the report.
Well, the mother of one of the boys who was with Nolan apparently posted on social media that Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and then return inland later with another group of friends. Were you made aware of that plan beforehand? Is that something that Nolan would have done or would do often?
No.
No, he wouldn't. Nolan was always taught to stay with the group. If you leave with me, you come back with me. So that I don't understand. And with me being a parent, if I was in that situation, I would have told him, you're going to get back on this boat with me because I don't want to have to answer to your parents if something happened to you.
Right.
So you're going to get on the boat. And if you still don't want to get on the boat, someone give me a phone so I can make a phone call to get your parents on the phone so they can tell you to get on the boat. But at no time will I leave someone else's child especially on the island.
So you think he got left behind then?
Yes. I don't.
Now let me say something. I'm not gonna stop it too much, but just thinking realistically, I don't know. Yes, most friends would try to argue with their friend, tell them to come on back with me. But I don't know about calling the parents. I'm truly thinking that I don't know about calling the parents. I don't know if any 18-year-old friend group like that would call the parents in this type of situation. But you might feel different. Let's keep going,
I
though.
believe he decided to stay on the island by himself. That it just doesn't. That's not his character.
Attorney Crump, you have a lot of questions about what happened, ranging from the fact that the police very quickly declared that they didn't see any evidence of foul play, but then said that they were now investigating, to the timeline, the idea of where the phone could potentially be. Help me understand.
Vlad, there are so many glaring contradictions, and that's why so many people all across America are chiming in saying this is not adding up. I mean, you have them saying he was talking to a young lady, and she said that he said, I'm going to get back on the boat with the boys. Well, the boys say he said that, no, I'm going to stay with her. I mean, which is it? And then on top of that, you talk about this video that's out there that shows this apparent argument going on where Nolan says, where's my freaking phone? What are you freaking doing? And then his phone turns up missing. I don't know any 18-year-old, if you go with their story that he said he was going to stay behind, I'm going to leave my cell phone behind. It's not adding up. And so those are the things that his mother and father are saying, we're not accepting this. He was a college athlete. He was in superb shape. And so he's a good swimmer. And you see the video of all those people out there. If he's drowning, nobody's going to help.
But the video that you're talking, sorry, Natalie, the video that
Yeah, hold on. Before they get into that, I couldn't hear that in the video. I couldn't tell who was talking. We might need to go back and listen to that video.
you're talking, go ahead.
I was going to say, you reposted that video. Now, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, they are calling for people to send in any videos or anything that they may have seen. What are they communicating with you about the investigation and what they are getting from people?
They haven't communicated much at this point. In fact, his mother, as she said, they had to track down the cell phone, and she can talk about the deleted messages that are very concerning to her because it's relevant. All of it is relevant to finding out how Nolan Wells ended up dead.
Let me ask you really quickly on that video that you posted. Are you sure that that is Nolan's voice that we can hear on the video?
Well, and there are kids. Kids are talking, and kids are always talking that there was an argument. So we have independent investigators doing it, and we get an independent autopsy. Colin Kaepernick paid for his body to be flown up to Washington, D.C. from Mississippi because his parents have some distrust when you think about the history of Mississippi.
Oh, yes. And Christine, going back to that cell phone, you said you were able to recover it.
Yes.
So you saw clear signs that there were deleted conversations?
There were definitely concerns just because Nolan is always on Snapchat. He will be like, hey, Mom, smile, you know, put a peace sign. So when me and my sister went through it, there was nothing.
There was
no saved videos. There was nothing in there. She went to the secondary account. There was nothing in there. And I know, you know, when kids get together for events like that, you know, they're snapping. They're making videos, taking pictures. And so I'm just like, where is it? Because it hadn't even been 24 hours when we started looking, which usually with Snapchat, it goes away once you hit that 24-hour mark.
Elmore.
Hold on. That's not deleted messages. So there's no pictures. We got to be clear. Is there signs that there are deleted messages or just no pictures from him taking pictures? Because that's a big difference now, at least in my book.
Can you, for all of us who are so concerned about what happened here, just tell us a little bit more about your son? Who was he? What kind of man was he growing up to be?
He was very respected by the community. He was very respected by a lot of people. There wasn't a friend that he couldn't make. People gravitated to Nolan. That was just the type of person he was. He was I would say a silent leader when on the field and on the basketball court. People would follow his actions and not his words. I'm a person, I believe action is more important than words. You can tell me 1,000 times you love me, but show me you love me. If you are my real friends and I'm giving you this trust, you need to get it back to me by making me. making me get on that boat. It's 3 of them, one of me. Yeah, we may tussle, but when we get back to the mainland, either we gonna tussle some more, or we gonna go party. So, and same with the adult. If that was your child, and I was the one there, you would have wanted me to make your child get back on the boat. So it was a lot of bad decisions made. I don't think my son volunteered to stay on that island. I can't believe that.
All right. Thank you both for being here. We're so sorry about this.
This is a tragic situation no matter how you look at it. But the real question is, did they leave him? Or did something more nefarious go on? Let's get over into the next video and see what else it tells us.
This is not how I wanted the world to meet my son, but here we are. Nolan is the kindest soul. He never met a stranger. He loved everybody. He didn't care if you were black, white, purple, green, looked like a marshmallow. Like, he just wanted everyone to be in peace with one another.
All together, my family, this is gonna be our new norm. He was the jester in my court. And yeah, he will be missed greatly, not by us, but by the whole community.
He was just a special kid. Like, he was a special kid, but again, just heart was so big. And we're gonna miss him dearly.
It's a lived experience for many Black Americans that oftentimes when our children are killed in highly questionable situations, that there is this notion that, oh, it was nothing wrong, no foul play, let's just sweep it under the rug. Well, we refuse to sweep it under the rug. We refuse to just let Nolan Wells' death be in vain. We're going to make sure that we get to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, because Nolan deserves it.
Convicted of sexually
It
abusing
is a truly tragic scene. Let's get over into this AI breakdown, y'all, just to see what else it tells us in this whole case. Let's get over into it. So as we know, the investigation into the death of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells, a college football player whose body was recovered off of Horn Island in Mississippi following the 4th of July boat trip, has intensified significantly. On July 10th, Nolan's parents, alongside the prominent civil rights lawyer Ben Crump and Reverend Al Sharpton, held a major press conference in New York. They strongly rejected the local law enforcement's initial narrative that there was no evidence of foul play and are demanding an urgent, transparent federal or outside probe. The independent autopsy, so Ben Crump announced that the family has commissioned an independent autopsy to be conducted in Washington, D.C. The secondary forensic procedure is being funded by the former NFL player, quarterback Colin Kaepernick. The official state autopsy and toxicology results remain pending. So the family's legal team alleges that when Nolan's cell phone was returned to them by the friends, he was with text messages that had been deleted. Jackson County sheriffs stated that his department does not have the phone, but has requested it from the family to perform a digital extraction. Growing contradictions have fueled public suspicion, while local authorities initially stated that Nolan chose to stay behind on the island to get a ride with someone else. Video evidence has surfaced showing that Nolan in a verbal altercation on the boat. Furthermore, female witnesses state that Nolan told her he was returning to the boat, directly contradicting the accounts of the 3 companions who claimed that he stayed on the shore. That is a big contradiction. This has to be investigated. So Tyler Perry has stepped forward and offered to cover all funeral and burial costs for the Wells family. So here's a breakdown of the timeline. We had Nolan traveled on July 4th. He traveled to Horn Island with his 3 friends. The friends returned to the mainland without him, leaving his keys and cell phone behind. His mother reported him missing around midnight. After a multi-agency search, a U.S. park ranger discovered Nolan's body washed ashore on the northwest tip of the island. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department maintains the case is active and is pleading for anyone who was on Horn Island that day to come forward with eyewitness accounts, photos, or video footage, particularly regarding any beach or boat altercation. So let's go into more details about the deleted messages, because that's what I really want to know. So we know that during the national television interview, the parents and the attorney Ben Crump revealed specific details regarding why they believe cell phone data was intentionally scrubbed before the phone was returned. So there was no content in under 24 hours. So Nolan's mother, Christine, and her sister went through the phone immediately upon recovery and discovered his 2 separate Snapchat accounts were completely empty. So Nolan was an avid social media user who documented everything. His mother noted that it was impossible for there to be 0 saved videos, photos, or active stories from the major 4th of July beach party within the 24-hour window, which made sense. Because of these apparent deletions, the family's legal team plans to employ private digital forensic experts to bypass the app's interface and try to extract deleted data from the phone's internal memory. So it right now it seems like an inference. He is an active social media person, so it does make sense that he would take photos. But right now they're just basing it on the fact that there is none in there yet. So there is not any deleted messages or anything like that, but just the fact that there's no photos in the phone itself. So how the phone was recovered, that's a big thing that people was talking about. So the 3 companions did not proactively give the phone to Nolan's parents or local authorities when they returned to the mainland without him. The family had to use a tracking application to locate the live ping of Nolan's phone on land. A family friend then had to physically travel to the location to retrieve the device and Nolan's keys from the companions. The family has raised serious questions about how the phone was accessed in the first place, given that it was protected by Face ID. Legal advocates have publicly questioned whether Nolan's biometric data was used against his will while he was incapacitated. Oh, so they're saying about the missing face, the Face ID mystery. So how did it activate? I'm assuming they're placing, how did they delete the pictures? So adding to the cell phone mystery, Ben Crump revealed the existence of a video filmed on land shortly before Nolan disappeared. In the footage, Nolan can be seen in a heated verbal altercation with individuals from the boat, frantically demanding, "Give me my phone, my freaking phone. And what are you freaking doing?" These directly challenges the narrative that he simply forgot his device and left it willingly. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department has publicly requested that the family surrender the phone to the local police so the state investigators can perform the extraction. However, due to the severe lack of trust stemming from the department's early no foul play declaration, the family is currently withholding the phone until their own independent forensic expert can mirror and protect the device data. Now, I wonder, will the data extraction affect the phone? Because what if nothing is found from their own data extraction? Are they just going? Can the police no longer look for the data itself? It's a lot of questions, but overall, what do y'all think about this situation? Is it foul play, or is it just some terrible, awful accident that happened in the first place? It's a tragic scene, but this is why we got to review this type of stuff together, y'all, because the world is a crazy place.